In this lesson, we'll create and shell a drafted part. After completing this lesson, you'll be able to create an extrude, use shell to create a thin wall part, and modify feature properties to produce draft. To get started in Fusion 360, we want to make sure that we upload the file pencilholder.f3d. Once it's uploaded, go ahead and open it in the canvas area and hide your data panel. This file contains a single sketch, and to get started, we're going to create a solid body from the sketch by going to Create and selecting Extrude. We're going to select all three closed profiles and begin dragging this up. We're going to go up a total height of 3 inches, and this can be done with the manipulator or by manually entering the value and then saying OK. We've now created a solid body from that original sketch, and we want to produce a thin wall part. To do this, we're going to select Modify and Shell. We're going to select the face that we want to remove. Note that this can be multiple faces, or if we select the body from the browser, it'll create an internal void without removing any external faces. Then we need to enter the value, in this case 0.1. This can be done again manually by entering it or by dragging the manipulator. We're going to say OK, and now we've created a thin wall part based on that original extrude. But let's say that this part needs to be made from some sort of drafted application like injection molding. So in order to add draft to this, it can be done in a few different ways. There is a modify draft feature, but to keep that consistent wall thickness, knowing that we originally extruded this and then shelled it, we can also go back to that original extrude feature. So if we edit the feature, we have an option called taper. There's also an on-screen manipulator that allows us to drag in both directions to increase or decrease that angle. We can also manually enter a value if needed. For us, let's add a positive 15-degree taper, which is quite a bit more than we would actually need, but showing something this drastic can help identify the concept. Once we say OK, notice that because the shell was after it in the timeline, that it updated appropriately, keeping that consistent wall thickness. If we go to Inspect and take a quick look at a section analysis, by selecting one of our default planes, in this case the YZ plane, we can take a look and see that we do in fact have a consistent wall thickness on the entire part. This is also true if we were to go ahead and add something like a fillet to the bottom corner before we created the shell. In order to do that, we can grab the end of the timeline, drag it back, and then go to Modify and Fillet. By selecting the bottom edge and adding a 1/2 inch fillet, go ahead and drag the end of the timeline after the shell. You can see that it now produced a fillet on the inside and the outside. Again, taking a look at Inspect and Section Analysis, we can see that we have that consistent wall thickness. If you want to save the section analysis, we can simply say OK, and an analysis folder will be created, and then the section view can be shown and hidden at any time. For our purposes, we now can better understand how to apply draft for the extrude feature, and how to make updates to things like shells, and working with a timeline by manipulating the marker and determining at what point in time certain features are applied. From here, let's make sure that we do save this file before we move on to the next lesson.